This is shades of last time. I've heard a couple of nice scrapes come from the underneath, so it's not great. So that's a bit muddy. Unfortunately, the Berlingo's a little bit higher than the Mondeo, so hopefully it's not going to bottom out on this track. Hello and welcome to this latest video on UKPM Survival Outdoors and UKPrepperman. It's great to be here. We're at the Wilderness Gathering 2019 here at Bison Farm, which is in Wiltshire, and the weather is looking really nice at the moment. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but you can probably see from the glint on my face there is a little bit of nice evening sun. We are forecast a bit of rain later on, but hey, you know, good spirits and all that, so hopefully it's going to be a really good show. I'm here for 3 nights and arrived this afternoon being Thursday. All set up. I couldn't really show you the setup, or me actually putting the setup together, because obviously everybody wants to have a chat and you know, you want to be nice and sociable, so quite rightly so. So we're going to have a look at that in just one moment, but I managed to actually get a better space this year. Previous year I was at the bottom of the field, and obviously it gets a little bit damp down there, so I'll show you the setup in just a moment. Previous year I was sort of right down at that bottom corner, just where the fence is, and the sort of the lie of the land, so to speak, is a pretty gentle slope, but by the time you get to the bottom, as you can see there, it's you know, it was getting a little bit damp. So this year I have managed to get a space a little bit higher up. High is dry, low is slow and all that, and you know, the entrance is sort of up here as well to the field, so it makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to have a quick look at the setup. We're using the Vango again, and the reason being because forecast a bit of rain. I really didn't want to be lugging home 7 kilos worth of sodden wet canvas, and I've got faith in it, but go for something a bit lighter. That's only about 1.5 kilos in weight. The Dutch one's about 7 kilos. That's new, as I say, it's some new kit. I say it's new, it's quite old, but it's new for me. It's a Dutch Norgie, as issued to British forces. I'm sure some of the ex-squatters will have fond memories of the stuff that used to be put in there. Camp kettle, had that for a while, loved it to bits. Fire bowl with nothing in it, so that's going to be remedied. And of course the old faithful, the old DPM basher. Just put them on a couple of the poles, and because there's a little bit of a breeze earlier on, I've just gone and get a spare tarp just on the side there, and it's not too much of a lash up, it's just pegged into the lines that are going down for the tarp, just to provide a little bit of shelter. It's a one-man refugee camp. Got the wood store there, got more wood as well, so plenty of wood there. Well, it is the weekend. Some beers, Stanley flask, and as you see me, normally in the evening I make a brew up in the Stanley, so I've got something for the morning. New Magnum boots, those are replacing the previous Magnum boots. I've had a pair for about 2.5 years, so I've replaced them with another pair. Ultra Force axe. Obviously the gloves, important to have gloves. And then the bag, well, both of them actually. Little day sack there, which is the Berghaus Monroe, 35 litres. And then the big one, which is the Berghaus Crusader. So you've seen a video on that before, just with a bit of an unboxing. That's catered up for 72 hours, so pretty much 72-hour kit. Whether or not I'll have time on this video to actually sort of break that open, a lot of it depends on the weather. It might be a separate video, but that is all catered up for 72 hours complete, with the 15-litre rocket pouches and the waterproof cover just there put on the side. So we'll come back to that. Of course, very important to have the water, so 5-litre Vango water containers, so we've got safe water on site. Right, I better get some food on. There's always some nice improvisations at these shows. I'm actually using it as a cool bag, cool box, cool bag inside. That's got some things in for tomorrow. I haven't overpacked either. Spare bag, always good to have. Mushrooms, need those tonight. And I've just got some pasta, cheese sauce there, cheese and broccoli. One of these curries. That was Malaysian curry. Porridge. Peas, need them as well. Beans and sausages. Everything needs sausages. Oil to cook. Some milk tomorrow night. There's another Wayfarer one to use up. And this one is, what's this? Oh, May 2019. In August. I had one of the ones that was from May the other week. It was absolutely fine. So what we're going to have with the mushrooms and the peas? Well, we're going to be having a nice bit of steak, and that's not a bad price either. So good quality British sirloin. Just going to cook it with the mushrooms, peas separately, bang it all together. Job's good. And chopping duties are going to fall to this, which is I've had for quite a while. It's a Spyderco Tenacious. You won't have seen it before because I don't really take it out that much. It's not UK legal because it has a line and lock on, but we're perfectly okay here with it. It's stainless steel as well, so it won't rust, and it will do for the chopping duties of the mushrooms there. So it just folds up like that. But as I say, I don't carry that as an EDC item because obviously it would fall foul. Because one, it locks, and two, it's slightly over the 7.62 centimetres that you're allowed to carry in the UK. Nice knife though, G10 scales on it, and a pretty good pocket clip as well, which can be popped both sides down. Well, morning everybody, and as you can hear and saw a minute ago, it's a little bit wet out there. But hey ho, this is one of them. This is Britain, and it rains in the summer, and I'm going to have a brew and have a little wander around and see who's about. So didn't do much filming last night. So I did my steak, which was really nice, and then the rest of the evening I've just spent catching up with people, having a bit of a chat, and having a couple of beers. So I will catch you a bit later on. And still piping hot. You know all these, do you make all the handles as well?
Yeah. The handle is the most fun, I guess. No, it's not true. I like to forge them as well, but yeah, definitely I do the handle.
Right, so you forge all those and you do the handles as well?
Most of them I forge, not all of them. Some of them I stock removal.
Right.
Because when I started them, I thought people will flock to buy the knife, so I needed to make it fast.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's keep the forging and just do some stock removal. But I don't like it. I like to do forging.
Brings a new boyfriend on the shop.
Oh, that was a bargain. Okay, so I've taken a bit of a walk around the Bring and Buy sale and managed to pick myself up a very nice MOD survival knife, a genuine issue, and I've got the sheath with it as well, and I also picked up a MTP sheath just for a different option, because the MOD survival knife is a left-hand carry, and well, the sheath was anyway, and obviously I wanted it on right hand, so I've got a couple of different options there, which is always good. But yeah, the weather at the moment is all right. It's still a bit drizzling. It's going to, you know, probably get a bit worse later on, but the good news is that Saturday is supposed to be pretty much getting back to normal, well, as normal as can be for a British summer. I noticed that there's not many people on the canoes at the moment. Maybe that will change a bit later on, but you know, at the end of the day, it's testimony to everyone's spirits. You know, no one's complaining. You know, everyone's enjoying a good old time. They've got a bar here as well, which I think is going to prove quite good, because it's got a shelter, so when they get the band on later on this evening, I think a few people will be under those. But you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, you just crack on with it and enjoy yourself. So I'm going to take a quick look at a couple of the stalls on this side, and I'll catch you later on. Right, well, we've got back, and yeah, the wind has picked up now, and the rain has still heavy rather than light. So thinking on my feet, the tarp which you obviously saw yesterday with you know, I was still under there, but luckily I had the foresight to bring a couple of extra tarps with me. One that was already on the side there, I've just pegged that out a bit more. Then I've got a larger tarp which I've just put over the top. And yeah, it's not pretty, but it does the job, because the wind is coming from this side as I am, and so it needs to drop down a little bit. If I'd had more pegs and more poles, I could have made more elaborate setup, but it is what it is. One side's slightly higher than the other to allow the water to drain off a little bit just down the fold just in the middle there. And as I say, you know, it does what it needs to do, and hopefully that will serve me over this weekend. So I've just put the tarp over the top of the existing long pole that I have there, and I've got it guyed out there, and also just down at the bottom there as well. And you can see there it's a little bit higher on that side than there to allow it to drain. And I had the green one already because the wind was coming from that direction yesterday, so I popped that up there just to stop it from blowing through. The grey one, luckily I've kept it in the car, because it's certainly doing a good job, because as I say, the wind's alternating and coming from either that side or that side, so you know, it's obviously bringing the rain as well. I don't want it driving underneath. And I suppose it just goes to show that at the end of the day, it's not all about pretty setups, it's about some practicalities, and just having an extra tarp, or 2 or 3 tarps even, you know, on a camp like this, and some extra cords and some extra pegs, just makes a bit of a difference, because I think without this I'd be a little bit stuck. So with that, I'm going to get a coffee on, because it's about 2 o'clock, and I've only had 2 coffees today, which is nowhere near enough coffee, so I will be getting a bit of a brew on in a moment. But it's not exactly the nicest weather to be lighting a fire, so I'm just using the food container there and my trusty Coleman stove to brew up, and there's going to be enough in there to fill up the Stanley flask, so I've got a brew up for this evening stroke tomorrow morning. It's just you know, saving doing the same job twice, do it once, happy days. And in fairness, I've used up one of these containers already. I bought some half-filled ones that need to be used up. We're going to come back in a couple of minutes when that's boiled up. Happy days. Right, so I'm going to rustle myself up with a snack. I think it's going to stroke evening meal. Just a couple of burgers, here in the mess tin, a bit of sauce, a couple of bats. Happy days.